What's up, brother? Good seeing you, man.
You too. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I don't know if I could feel any better. I don't know.
It's been a few minutes since your fight, man. How'd you feel about it?
I felt like I could have made some different adjustments, but overall, I was happy to get the finish. Happy to get a submission over a guy like that, right? But yeah, just surreal. Just trying to bask in all this greatness right now.
What was the game plan coming in on 3 days' notice? I mean, and I'm pretty, not a lot of time to dissect your opponent like you usually do. What was the game plan?
You know me, man. My game plan was to come knock him out. That was my game plan. I didn't know if it was gonna be left hand, right hand, head kick. I didn't know what it was gonna be, but body shot. I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna throw the kitchen counter at him, kitchen sink at him, and that was my original plan. I knew he was tough. I knew he could hit hard. I just wanted to have faith in the fact that I had done all the work and that I was gonna be quick enough and sharp enough to get the job done.
3 days' notice. Where were you when you got the call?
I was in my truck about to go get something to eat because I like to fast a lot. So like usually I'll start my week off with a fast, like 1 or 2 day fast. And I was like, I knew I was looking for a fight. So I was like, I'm gonna go get something to eat. So I was literally about to go get something to eat. I'm heading over to Clean Eats. And sure enough, my coach hits me up. Hey, you ready to fight? I was like, what? Took a left instead of going straight, headed home. I didn't know if it was for sure or not, but I was like, I better not go eat. So that's where I was.
What was the emotion like when you got that call, man? I know you've been working at it. You've been in the gym. You always give your teammates work. Like, what was the emotion when you got that call?
Be honest, nervous, scared, petrified, all those things, it definitely, I have a lot of faith in myself and I believe in myself, but at the same time, I'm a very humble man and understand that we are all just human beings, flesh and blood. And, we're looking at these guys from the outside in. This is the UFC. This is the biggest platform in the world. And again, I have respect for this game like no other. I really understand what it takes to be behind the scenes in this and what these guys give. So when I first got it, I was like, 3 days? Oh my gosh. Oh, can I do this? And then I was like, you know what? Put my faith in God, which I already do. And, there's a reason why I didn't already go eat. There's a reason why my weight was on weight. There was a reason why all this happened. And he put me in the position to do it. And I just had to show up for the moment.
How was the weight coming into fight week?
It was fantastic, honestly. I was like around 53, 52 when they first called me. So that's not bad, especially only having to go to 40. And I've never had a problem making weight. I'm a bigger guy, but when it comes down to it, especially when I know about fights, I'm very diligent and disciplined in my preparation. And I will do what it takes to make sure that I make that weight every time. So it was good.
A lot of the hardcore MMA fans knew who you were, but how was it like having your teammates, having Sean O'Malley, having people pump you up before the debut? Like, do you think that was a performance that really put you on the map?
Yeah, I think the performance definitely was for sure, And honestly, like everybody pumping me up, me getting in my own head all the time, like, oh man, everybody's just pumping me up. They're just gassing me. I don't know how this is gonna end up. Don't get into it too much. Like I'm such a weird, different type of person, So like I was like trying to ignore all that just noise, Like oh man, these guys are. And honestly, my team is the best team. So like they are really honest. Like if you're not doing good, they're gonna tell you that. So I kept telling myself that too. Like hey, they're not just telling me these things because they're just telling me, but the other side of me is always like, maybe, maybe. So it was awesome to get that type of response from from all my teammates and fans and everything. But yeah, I think it was definitely a performance to put me on the map for sure.
When would you like to return?
As soon as possible. I might have a couple injuries. We'll see. I threw a couple kicks that I have to find out about. So honestly, I would love to fight International Fight Week. That sounds great. Or August, something like that. I don't want to take too much. I'd like to fight 2 times this year if I can. So 2 more times in the UFC this year. I want to be active. I haven't been as active in my career as I'd like to be. So that's what I'd like to do. So if we can get a good matchup and get back in here, that's what I'm here to do.
Finally, how are you going to celebrate this big win?
First, I'm going to hang out with my guys tonight that came out here with me, and then I'm going to go home and just spoil the heck out of my wife and kids. They deserve it. They've been riding with me, and I've been grinding super hard, not really taking any time to spend time with them like I want to. So whatever I can do for them, that's what I'm going to do.
Congrats.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad.
I bet you're much better than I am.
I don't know. You look pretty good.
I'm just curious, seeing as this UFC debut came only 3 days, do you kind of prefer that you didn't have like 6 weeks to overthink it and overtrain and maybe kind of psych yourself out? Did you like the fact that this happened in such short notice?
No, no, I like the extra time, to tell you the truth. It's more so just because, like, I can be more dialed in, have more confidence. Because, again, like, I think the mentality I have, a lot of people, like, I'm confident, but the mentality I always stick by is, like, I am a man, like, I'm a human being, I'm flesh and blood, so I can make so many mistakes on any day. So it's always like, the extra preparation and putting in the time and effort and work, all those things always add up to me, so I would prefer to have the extra time. I have taken a lot of short notice calls, though, and it ends up working out pretty well. But I would prefer to have the time, for sure. I'll take the time.
So it wasn't the fact that it was the UFC calling that you said yes. You sound like you'll say yes to any fight at this point?
I mean, at that point, yeah. I've been trying to fight, and I haven't been as active, like I said, as I wanted to be. And again, I wasn't just going to take anything, but I was getting a little desperate there for a minute. I wanted to fight. It had been since January. I was already planning on trying to fight in March. Didn't happen. April just passed. May were coming up. It wasn't looking like May was going to happen. I was getting a little bit gun shy, like, oh man, what's going to happen here? So, yeah, it was great to get in and great for it to be the UFC, but I just want to fight. I want to show the world that I'm here to do that and that I love what I do, and just show myself, really, show myself that I'm not just doing all these things for no reason, that like I'm putting in this work and I'm dedicating myself for the greater good,
And now that you're in the UFC and you have a win and you have a highlight win, have you had a chance to kind of think about potential opponents, like looking forward, people you might want to fight?
I haven't honestly, and I'm gonna have to go back and look at the rankings and see what's going on and see what's jumping off in there, and maybe I have a name to call out and say something. I'm not really into calling guys out because I love everybody. Like I'm a lover. Outside of the cage. I just love people, love life. So whoever the UFC really offers me, I'll be up for it. I'll be ready for it. But yeah, I just like to fight great fighters. I want to find out how great I am in the span of great people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcus, since this was a catch weight, what is your weight division of choice? Are you featherweight or are you able to do bantamweight?
Oh, I'm absolutely a bantamweight. Yep. Never miss weight at 35, so I absolutely can make that weight every time. But on 3 days' notice, yeah, it was nicer for me to get to 40. I could have made 36 too. It just would have been a little bit more of a pain. Might have been a chance of me missing just because of the short notice. It's a hard thing to do to cut that much weight in that short of time, and that's what the preparation comes into play, right? Like I have the time to water load, I have the time to diet, I have the time to do everything in line like it needs to be done so that I can make weight.
Well, you definitely are a big bantamweight. Could you fight featherweight if you had to, if the opportunity came up?
Absolutely. I definitely think I could. I definitely think I would be a regular size featherweight as well. I did fight at featherweight as an amateur. I never even thought I was going to go to bantamweight until I got around other guys that were making bantamweight, and I was like, okay, maybe I can.
Yeah. And last thing, did they kind of reward you for this, for taking this last minute? You got like a couple more fights? Were you able to lock them down for multiple fights after this one?
Oh yeah. We're definitely in for a few more fights for sure. So that was nice too. And after a win, now might be a little bit more solidified in there too. So that's good. So yeah, we got some other fights on the contract. So I plan on this just being the beginning and taking off from here.
Awesome. Congrats on the victory. Welcome to the UFC.
Thank you so much. That sounds great. Awesome.